Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the Beyond Bitcoin show. Today is October the 27th, 2018. Strong hand. Unconfiscatable. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Personal responsibility is the new counterculture. Deferral of gratification. Conviction. All right, everyone, check out the links below. DisruptMeister.com, TechBalt.com. Follow me at TechBalt on Twitter. Get your t-shirts, your Trezor affiliate links below. Check out yesterday's This Week in Bitcoin show. Francis was on the show from Montreal. Tai Zen was in Vietnam, and Lauren Gamaroff was in South Africa. It just turned into a debate. Now, I did not intend for this to happen, but it turned into a wild debate. When Tai Zen comes on the show, you don't know what is going to happen. I said that before, and I had no idea it was going to turn into this. It went way over an hour. Oh, it was like an hour and 50 minutes, hour 40 minutes. Some people really enjoy that kind of thing. It's okay. I'm not going to say I really enjoyed it. It had some entertainment value to it. And you do learn some things. And if you watch till the very end, Tai Zen and I talk about some other things. But yeah, there was Bcash, Bitcoin, all sorts of stuff was being thrown around. And yeah, it was a brawl, basically. And curse words that even though you're not supposed to curse on the show came out. So check out This Week in Bitcoin. Also, check out last week's Beyond Bitcoin show. That was pretty fun. Check out all the old shows, DisruptMeister.com. So here's some earplugs I just had in my ears. And here's a little tip for everyone. I carry earplugs wherever I go. And that's because you never know when you're going to need them. It was really, they were playing some loud music outside. They were dancers, or I don't know what was exactly going on out there. But I couldn't even think when I'm trying to prepare for the show. So it just ended before the show started. So I pulled out my earplugs, and these have helped me. Well, other ones, not these exact ones. But as many of you know, when I used to go to bars and clubs, when I valued my wealth in other things other than Bitcoin, I used to wear earplugs all the time. I had no shame because even back then, people in their 20s, they can be pretty superficial. They want to fit in. I didn't care about fitting. I wanted to preserve my ears, okay? I wanted to preserve my hearing. So you can see pictures of me, even recent ones when I was in Calgary. When I was in Calgary and at the Bitcoin Rodeo, they took us out. The guys who put that on were great. And they took us out to like a country music concert. And as a guy from Baltimore, I'd never been to anything like that before. Guys wearing cowboy boots and there were even black dudes there wearing cowboy hats and cowboy boots there. But it was loud. It was really loud. Pull these babies out. Oh, everybody else was having ear pain, couldn't hear themselves. It's great. And the next day you feel great. So yeah, have some earplugs with you wherever you go. You never know when you're going to need them. I've needed them. I didn't know I was going to need. I had no idea until that night we were even going to maybe it was the day before they told us we were going to go. I don't know. I had no idea when I was flying to Calgary I was going to end up at some a country music concert. Because it was during the Calgary Stampede. Everybody and their brother is a cowboy there during the Calgary Stampede. See, Calgary is a great place. It was a great place to visit. All right, so voter turnout. I think people expect voter turnout in the United States to be pretty high for a midterm election. And that's always spun by people like, oh, it's great. So many people are interacting with the political scene and doing their civic duty. And I have another take on it. I think it means that more and more people are falling into the machine and becoming part of the machine and wasting their time on politics and just getting involved in it now and thinking that if I vote, this is going to make a difference in my life. These people I am voting for will change my life. And I don't think that's good at all, because personal responsibility is the new counterculture. Now, again, you could be a 20%. You could be in the Bitcoin overlay and understand that voting doesn't mean anything and you just decide to vote. Okay. But most of the people who are now deciding to vote, who haven't usually voted, they're in that trance like, yeah, man, I'm really pumped because of Trump or because of Clinton, and I'm angry about that previous election. So now this will make a difference. This is going to change my life. This will make my life better. No, it isn't going to make your life better. So I see higher voter turnout as, well, if you're a 20%er and you understand what's going on, that the 80%ers are falling more and more into the trap of giving away, not caring about personal responsibility and thinking that government bureaucrats and government sociopaths are going to be able to fix their lives. Then if you understand that, then that's good. If you're, I feel bad if you were meant to be a 20%er and you're losing personal responsibility. You're getting caught up in this paradigm where you're putting these people on a pedestal. But hey, it's your own choice. I can't change your mind. I'm putting my ideas out there. You don't like my ideas. You think other people can take care of you. You think voting is going to take care of you. Be my guest. But again, if you are voting, realize, and I know many of you do, that this isn't going to change your life. That only you can change your life, so you can vote, but if you take personal responsibility over your own life, that's cool too. That's fine. But if you're voting and you're just giving up all personal responsibility over yourself, and I think that's happening more and more in society. Solve your own problems, people. They're not going to be able to solve your problems. Okay, speaking about problems, and pound that freaking like button, people. All right. Speaking of problems, Baltimore Sun has an article online, and I linked to it below. More Maryland college students are crowdfunding their tuition with help from GoFundMe. Okay, if you have to do this, you really should be rethinking your priorities, okay? If you're able to raise money through GoFundMe, you should be funding like productive projects of your own. And if you are so desperate to go to college that you need to beg people for money to go to college, something's wrong there, dude. Something is wrong. College isn't that important. Wait it out. Try to earn some money before you go to GoFundMe. And I have a feeling if you're going this GoFundMe route, you're probably not trying to get into an elite college anyway. And again, if you're not trying to get into an elite college and you don't really have a plan and you just want to go to college, you go to college, that's not a good reason to go to college. And I know there's a lot of peer pressure, and fitting in means a lot when you're 18 years old. Fitting in is overrated, but again, I found this to be a disturbing trend that more Maryland students are resorting to crowdfunding their tuition. You can look at it, there's one positive, at least they're not wasting their own money on this, but they probably are. They probably gotten all the loans they can get, given all their money away, and they still don't have enough money, so now they got to crowdfund their money. And now, if you're able to do a successful crowdfund, you should take that as a positive. That hey, I can raise money. Why do I need to go to college? I don't think if I already know how to raise money, I should use that talent on my own business. There's a positive spin on the whole thing. I like positive spins on the whole thing. Well, I was watching listening to the Ben Shapiro show the other day, and he played a clip of Don Lemon, who works for CNN. And I linked to this clip actually of Don Lemon, and it's at the 1 minute and 30 second mark is where it really gets pathetic. And Don Lemon is yelling we're the victims. We're the victims. He's proud. He's proud that CNN got sent a fake bomb or something. And he's just shouting to the world that he's a victim and that is just pathetic for a man to be shouting, to be proud that he's a victim. This is what's happened to society today. When people no longer take personal responsibility, they don't have pride in themselves. They want the government to take care of everything. They put these government officials on pedestals. So he's blaming everything on Trump, basically, and saying, I'm a victim. I'm a victim. and why and twisting it around the blame. I'm not trying to defend or attack Trump or anything. My thing is how being a victim is cool. It's cool. Don is just totally cool with it and screaming it to the world that he is a victim. And that is just, if you are a person who doesn't think being a victim is cool, you're already one step into the Bitcoin paradigm, okay? Into the Bitcoin overlay. If you don't want to be a victim, if you know something bad has happened to you, but you're like, okay, I'm learning from this. I'm moving on and I'm going to fight. If this happens again, I'm going to fight. And I'm bettering myself because of this, okay? That's the attitude you should take. People, when you are proud of being a victim, you're not in motion. You're stuck. You're stuck in a hole, and you got to you're taking other people down with you. And to be proud of being a victim, that's just amazing. And I came up anti-sensationalism. I think part of society's problem is sensationalism. People are just trying to make a big deal out of things that aren't big deals and just overblow everything. And they're comparing leaders who are just weak, benign leaders to horrible sociopathic, psychopathic leaders of World War II. And it's to get attention. It's virtue signaling, and it's the victimology stuff again is involved with this sensationalism. It's be cool, be calm. If something bad happens, don't go blowing it out of proportion, everything. Address it, deal with it, move on. But developing this attitude of sensationalism, it's not healthy. It's not healthy. You're overreacting to everything is not good. And if you're able to identify the sensationalism that is going on in today's media, that is great. That is great. And again, we see it in Bitcoin too. We see it in cryptocurrency also. Everyone's looking for the big headline, the clickbait. That is sensationalism. Bitcoin will be worth $1 billion. And then, small print maybe. and something, Crypto Man ran. He's I'll talk about that on tomorrow's show, actually. He said he had information about Coinbase IPO, and there's no Coinbase IPO. It's amazing. So, yeah, everyone's gotten caught in this sensationalism. You be part of anti-sensationalism. How about that? So today in Pittsburgh, we have all heard about a crazy person, an anti-Semite, went into a synagogue and started shooting Jewish people, started killing people because he doesn't like Jewish people. And that's hard. It's a horrible thing. And I'm not approaching it as a victim. I'm not a victim because of that. I was not there. Obviously, if you lost a loved one, you were killed, you're injured, you are a victim. But as a people, we can't go around as American people, as Jewish people saying, oh, woe is me. What shall we do? This is horrible. We're victims here. No, that's not what we're going to take from this, what happened in Pittsburgh today. First off, we learned from this, and my shul, at my synagogue, I'm happy to tell you, we got an armed guard at the front of the synagogue. So if somebody like this guy targeted this synagogue because he knew there were no guns there. He knew it was easy targets. It was old women and old men and with no guns. Because Jewish people in the United States don't have guns, which is terrible. We should learn from this. That is a victim mentality when you don't have a gun, okay? When you don't have a plan like that. It's not good. Now I'm not justifying what the guy did. What the guy did was horrible. And again, at my shul, at my synagogue, the guys at the front, they got guns, okay? Then I was on Yom Kippur, it was last year, or during Rosh Hashanah last year, I noticed there's a dude standing in 4 rows in front of me when he's praying. You could see he's like moved his jacket a little bit. You see he's got a gun in there. It's like, holy moly, that's freaking awesome, dude. So, no. and people, and unfortunately, because many Jewish people are liberal, they paint themselves as victims. They say, no, we're not victims. We're not victims. Not at all. So a lot of people hate us. If you're going to hate, if you're going to hate on us, you're going to attack us. Well, guess what? You're going to get shot by us before you shoot us. How about that? How about that? And that's the way Israel does it, by the way. And why do you think Israel's so hated? Because they're not victim. Now, again, some of the liberal leaders in Israel, they have the victim mentality too. But no, you're prepared. You're prepared. Victims aren't prepared. So again, this is a reminder, arm yourself. There's a Second Amendment in the United States, live by it. And if admire people who fight back. Fighting back is what you should do. Don't make yourself a victim. Let's put the people who fight back on pedestals. And the next time, not pedestal, as examples of people to emulate. And the next time, because of this tragedy, the next time one of these jealous freaks tries to come running into a synagogue, he's going to get shot in the head before he can shoot anybody. How about that? That's a positive to take out of this. And in Israel, many Jews talk like I do. So I mean, if you want to get involved with Jewish, because again, a lot of you're like, all these liberal Jews, why do they vote for Clinton? And okay, so you know what? Don't be friends with those ones. Don't be friends with them. Go visit Israel. You'll see what happens when Jewish people are truly proud of themselves and fight back. Okay, it's a good place. And by the way, I'll be in Israel starting on December the 13th. It's always a good time there. So okay, now there coincidentally, someone sent me in a video where a man named George Gilder was interviewed. And he is talking about blockchain technology, about Bitcoin. I linked to that below. It's at hoover.org. And you can, if this is, I think they have the YouTube video there. If it's just them hosting it, you got to go to the YouTube video, but you got to play it at 2x. George Gilder is an older man now, so he talks slow, okay? But at the 20-minute mark, he talks a lot about Bitcoin being the future, blockchain. It's really positive. And this can be brought up on my Sunday show also, but I'm bringing it up today, and I thank the guy who sent me the video. What's it called? Forget cloud computing, blockchain is the future is called, or something like that. I did some research on the George Gilder, and I don't know if in this video, I linked to some other videos of his, and he talks about blaming others for your own failures, how that's terrible, how that is just horrible. And he says that he is not a Jewish man, but he says with Jews, that's what happens. The Jews are blamed for other people's failures. People's fail and they blame the Jews. And he says, don't do that. Don't blame whoever. Don't blame anybody for your own failures. Personal responsibility is a new counterculture. So someone sends me this George Gilder thing. And I think it's Bitcoin, and he's done a lot. He's done a lot of other stuff, with personal responsibility. He's written books. Israel at 7. Well, this is either an interview of his or a book of Israel at 70, the Israel test. Why the world's most besieged state is a beacon of freedom and hope. It's a good interview. And he talks about envy. And again, the guy today, obviously, he had envy. So he has envy of the Jews. He can't fix his own problem, so he decides to go kill a bunch of Jews. And that's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous thing. But envy can take people down a horrible path. And something that George Gilder says is anti-Semitism is essentially hatred of capitalism and excellence. And he goes on to say that Jewish people have excelled in the realm of capitalism. It cannot be denied that this is true. And that a lot of anti-Semitism is again, envy of Jewish people being more of the excellence that's clearly displayed. Like, why is that guy a banker and I can't be a banker? Well, you haven't worked hard, dude. Why is that guy a dentist? Why is that guy a doctor? Why is he rich? I'm envious. You gotta change your own life, dude. You can't, And so here's another National Review. I think this is by George Gilder, and I link to all these below. He's an interesting character. If you're, and again, he's not even a Jewish guy. The people who admire and emulate excellence thrive. Those who resent and envy it gnash their teeth and tear their hair and never accomplish anything worthwhile. So I'll read that again. The people who admire and emulate excellence thrive. Those who resent and envy it gnash their teeth and tear their hair out and never accomplish anything worthwhile. So if you see someone that's successful, like the Winklevi, don't envy, emulate. I've said this before. Okay, pound that like button. So now let's move on to another subject, totally different. A friend of mine he sent me an email about Led Zeppelin. He's a friend of mine from high school. I actually known this guy since first grade. I've known this guy longer than any of my friends, actually. But anyway, it's a long story. I've known him since first grade. And so we both like Led Zeppelin. In high school, I still like Led Zeppelin. That's real rock and roll. And he's like, have you heard of this band called Greta Van Fleet? And I don't keep up with the new bands at all. Of course, because they're all horrible usually. The music today's terrible most of the time. So I look up Greta Van Fleet on YouTube. Obviously, I'm not going to go buy their music. I've never heard of them before. You get everything free on YouTube, Greta Van Fleet. Oh, my God. I listen to these dudes, and I link to them below. They sound just like Led Zeppelin. And they look really young. I mean, it's three brothers and a drummer, okay? So the drummer is a brother, but they're talented. They're very good. And so they're controversial, apparently, because some people are hating on them because they sound like Led Zeppelin. That's how maybe I'm biased. I think that's what rock and roll music should sound like. So I linked to them below. Greta Van Fleet, they're called. And they sound a lot like Led Zeppelin. And it shows you how out of touch I am with mainstream society that I haven't heard. Because they're in pop culture. I'm not in touch with pop culture. I had not heard about this yet. And apparently they've been making news since August. I mean, they've been around for a couple of years. I guess their real debut was last year. Their big debut was August. Whatever it is. I don't care about the whole darn backstory. I know they're from near Saginaw, Michigan. They're from there. And so, yeah, good for them. They sound great. They sound like Led Zeppelin, and you could call me whatever, but that I like it. It sounds real good. And I was laughing. I was like, oh my God. I don't think they're trying to do it. Like at times, it really sounds like they're ripping off Led Zeppelin. I don't think they're trying to rip them off. They admire Led Zeppelin, and I think there was a quote maybe in this article. Jimmy Page said he liked them. Jimmy Page is the founder of Led Zeppelin, obviously. And so don't waste too much of your time on music or anything like that. But this is actually good music. I found it to be quite good. And you listen to a 4-minute song, and in the middle you can hear like 4 different Led Zeppelin songs in it. It's good. There have been Led Zeppelin cover bands before they played Led Zeppelin songs. This is not what they are. It's like Led Zeppelin is continuing with new songs. I think that's awesome. It's like John Bonham never died. It's like 1980, he didn't die, and they continued, and this is how they would sound in 2018. So, okay, enough of that. There's a little insider info on the type of music I like, but I've mentioned that kind of stuff before, that I like, classic rock type of music. I mean, in college, we used to, oh God, all right, we used to play that stuff, Stairway to Heaven. You'd hear it, and again, I mean, I don't remember. I'm not old. I don't remember. I don't remember Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin is the greatest rock and roll band ever. That's why every generation knows. I hope the college kids today know Led Zeppelin. If they don't, they know this band now, Greta Van Fleet. Okay. Yeah, Led Zeppelin started 50 years ago. So, ouch to wow. That's why Jimmy Page and Robert Plant look like they currently do, because they're older. And they did a lot of drugs. So speaking about my disconnect from popular culture, I had no idea the NBA season started. I always thought it started closer to Halloween. I think it used to start closer to Halloween. So all of a sudden, when I'm checking out World Series scores and stuff, I see, LeBron is in his third game with the Lakers. Like, what the heck's going on? What? It started? So that's good. I consider that a positive that I had no idea the NBA season started. No idea at all. That's a positive right there. And, yeah, as all of you remember, I predicted Dodgers over Houston Astros in 7. And, of course, it's Boston against the Dodgers. And as an Oriole fan, and don't get too much into sports, people. I always say this, but baseball is the best one. And as an Oriole fan, I can't. If the Red Sox would win the World Series, I'd vomit. It's just terrible, terrible. So yeah, I'm rooting for the Dodgers, and Manny Machado's on the Dodgers, and he was an Oriole. Was an Oriole. All right. So speaking about California, here's an article that you should inspire you Californians to be in motion if you're tired of it being kind of expensive there. This is from Bloomberg. Boise and Reno capitalize on the California real estate exodus. So as I noticed when I was in Boise, there are a lot of people from California moving there. That's what the article is about. It's booming in Boise because the California people can't take it. It's an interesting article. They can't take the taxes anymore. I don't blame them. That's good to be in motion. If you're getting taxed and you can't live anymore, then move. No excuse. Move. And Boise is a nice place, and it's driven up their real estate prices. But hey, that's the way it is. I haven't been to Reno in many, many years, so I can't say much about Reno. I did want to visit, but I did not visit recently. I don't know when I will be in Reno, but I was there a while ago. From what I recall, I like Boise a lot better. But maybe it's changed. Again, I like people are moving to Spokane also from California and from Seattle. I love Spokane and Boise, as I said, are the cities of the future. And this article kind of reinforces it about, at least about Boise, that it'll be all Californicated. And I know a lot of you Boise people watching this are like, we don't want the Californians here. Okay, you'll deal. Profit off of them. They'll spend a lot. They're saving a lot of money by being there. They're adding a lot. Business is booming in Boise, so good for them. I wanted to remind everyone something about my daily routine. I treat people's Twitter feeds, as their pages. I don't just sit there and read what comes across my Twitter. I actually, every day, I visit certain people's Twitter feeds. So I read all of the tweets they've done in the last 24 hours. And this is all Bitcoin stuff, cryptocurrency stuff. I don't do that for anything else because I don't care about anything. Well, I don't care about anything else that as much as I do cryptocurrency. I mean, my family, of course, but this is what my savings is around Bitcoin. I mean, I really am a big believer in it. I mean, I don't like obviously I like to follow the Orioles a little bit. I don't do anything with Twitter with the Orioles or anything like that, or Twitter with Ben Shapiro or anything like that. So if your thing is Bitcoin, if your thing is cryptocurrency, you should treat certain people's, you pick them yourself, certain people's feeds as pages that you visit every day. You treat them as just pure web pages. You don't just check your Twitter and see what's someone's tweeted out, who you follow has tweeted out. You can do that. I never do. I don't really do that. I just go to specific pages, Twitter pages every single day. And I really learn a lot. That's how I do, basically how I do every one of my Bitcoin shows is like, that's how I get my news. That's the best way to get your Bitcoin news and your knowledge. You learn a lot. You get a lot of different opinions, a lot of different takes. Not everyone has the same opinion or take on certain issues. And for the people who are saying, why do you have Bcash Lorian on your show yesterday? We got to have, Lorian is a smart guy. Do I agree with Lorian on everything? No, I don't agree. He has changed. He was pure Bitcoin once, and he got into Bcash because there's a certain, the way he grew up in South Africa, he thinks it is very important for people to spend, for very poor people to be able to spend easily. I don't agree with that. That's not my thing. I prefer savings over spending any day. I'm offended by selling, okay? But you gotta, he grew up he has definitely been influenced by who he grew up around, okay? And not everybody in South Africa is like Lauren at all. I'm not saying that. But so that's why you bring a person like that. Another thing, and you should go to techbalt.com and see all the times Lauren has been on the show. He's been on my show about 5 different times on This Week in Bitcoin. And then there have been other times when I was at his house in South Africa, we did a show together and stuff. So he is my personal friend too. So, I mean, that's a known fact. He's my friend. I have slept at his house. I had met his children and his wife. Okay, so he's a nice guy. He's a good guy, and he's not doing this. And that when I say they're good people in Bcash, I'm talking about him. I'm talking about him. And actually, I don't think he's watching right now. It's in the middle of the night there now. But yeah, so and to get some different opinions on it. And again, Francis has been on the show before. Ty has been on the show before. So you can see now they pretty much are the same all the time. They haven't changed too much. Ty has changed a little bit. But again, you want different type of combos. You want there to be a spark of conversation. Now, I didn't want it to turn into a wild debate, though, which it basically did between Francis and Ty. Because Ty is like a street fighter. Ty, the way he reacts is the way he was raised, too. He was raised in, like, the ghetto of Dallas. I believe it was Dallas. And he had a rough life, Ty Zen. It's a very interesting story. Very interesting story. And he redid himself as a professional person. He could have ended up in prison. So you got to admire him on a certain level. I mean, he improved his life. But again, I disagree with what he was saying. That Bitcoin has to be adopted. This whole adoption thing. What is adoption? Lorian and Ty think adoption is people using it, spending it. To me, that's not adoption. Adoption is people say. Most people don't understand the concept of saving. So let's not force adoption on people. Let people learn that they got to save. You can't forcing adoption is saying, okay, we're going to focus on spending right now. Let's focus. No, let's not focus on spending. That's wrong. That's a distraction. The people working with Bitcoin right now shouldn't be focusing on spending solutions. They should be dealing with savings, making it secure, unconfiscatable, anonymous. I believe working on things that make it more anonymous are much more important. And different people can work on different things. All right, enough. This is supposed to be the big Beyond Bitcoin show. So yeah, pound that like button. And when I was last Sunday, I'm running through a park in Santiago, Chile. And clearly there had just been a big event of some sort with young people. Teenagers, 20-somethings, I don't know. So many of these kids are just looking down at their phones. And I'm trying to run. It's like an obstacle course, man. I cannot believe how many people are addicted to their phones. It's really scary. As a runner, you really notice it because you're moving faster than them. They're moving really slow. And if you're not aware, you're going to hit them. And that's not good. But you're admiring real life while they're stuck in this horrible zone. And it becomes really apparent when you're a runner. And this is why I'm so proud I don't have a phone, because I don't want to be that. I don't want to be those kids. I don't want to be stuck on a beautiful Sunday walking around Santiago, Chile, looking at my phone. So take a break, people. Get away from your phones. Definitely get away from your phones. You're really using your brain. Get back to nature, doing natural things. You're using different parts of your brain that you're not using with your phone, because your phone is basically thinking for you. And I mean, they look like zombies. It's funny. My grandmother complains about the same thing to me. She's like, "Why are all these people looking down at their phones?" And it's horrible when you're running through a park filled with people, and it's an obstacle course, so many are looking at their phones. And this is in Santiago, Chile, which again is the wealthiest country in Chile is the wealthiest country in South America. It's worse in America, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. So you just don't see that many people outside in a park in America anymore, which says a lot. At least these kids are kind of trying to be healthy. They're walking around a park. All right, so the term "go your own way." I stress the word your. So many people think they're going their own way. and they're going other people's way, their own way, not over there, not your own way. So you make your own path up. That there's not a clearly defined path that you choose. There's not an A, B, C, or D. There's not a multiple choice test. Okay. I think for most people, that is they go one of those paths. Well, I'm going to go the cool kid path. I'm going to go the jock path. I'm going to go the joker path. No, you make it up as you go along, dude. You're going your own way. You define it. You define it yourself. And you don't try to fit into any preset path. And it's your own way. Just stress that. Stress it when you go your own way. But so many people think they're going their own way, and they're just doing something that's a little bit. That's the cool alternative thing to do. Yeah, man. Now I'm only going this type of bar. Or something. No, think. Basically, think your way through it. Don't just pick A, B, C, or D. Your own way. And I know that sounds scary to make up your own way, to decide, well, I'm going to do this way. I'm going to do this that way. And I'm not going to care what other people are thinking. I mean, it's hard. It's because you're raised in this way to be a collectivist, to go with the collective, and individualism. Dude, individualism. So as Stefan Molyneux says, live by principle, not popularity. Okay? So go your own principled route. And if you're not trying to be popular, then it is going to be definitely your own way. It's definitely your own way. If you're trying to be popular, you're picking A, B, C, or D. Which way to be popular? Individualism is the achievement. Collectivism is the default. So go your own way. Men, ladies, everyone out there. Fitting in is overrated. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to this channel. Like this video, share this video. Check out the links below. Deferral of gratification, people. I'll say hi to you guys in the chat right now. Bye.